You know, I'm going to cut through the chase. And here it is. I was having a premonition of, oh my God. But anyway, here's my take. I want to say good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. You know, it is Jay with you once again. First time here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Don't forget about the notification bell. Tonight, I'm kind of going off the cuff. Okay, I'm going off the ringer tonight. With my drinking snacks, by the way. Make sure you got it. I got mine, but it's like half full. So that means if it's half full, if I don't get anybody on this live stream, then the live stream's going to end early. But if I get more than 50 in the live chat, we might go an extra hour. So, I'm going to get started in a minute. I'm going to wait for y'all to pile in. I need something with this. And what I need is Milo, Energy, Ackerberry. Yes, I need my energy. Because this is going to be an interesting live stream. Why do I say this? It's because it's about smooth motion. I hear people are able to use it on the 40 series. I have, and they said it was launched with 580.88 for the 40 series. We froze. I seriously need to get me another camera. I seriously need to get me another camera. Hello, Cyborg. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, well, my camera froze again. So if it freezes again, you'll hear my voice, but you'll just be seeing my bearded face. But anyway. It's good to see you. Good to see you. I'm sure the rest of everybody will get on sooner or later. So, like I said, we're going to get back into the smooth motion kind of thing. With the I don't know why they said that, but we're going to investigate it and find out why they said it. Now, if it was supposed to be on 580.88, it's not. If I'm supposed to use a special program, you know, if I'm let's say I'm a user of the PC, but I don't understand, I'll put myself in the consumer's shoes, not saying they're stupid, it's just these certain programs, they don't understand how to activate them. Okay, you got to go through different programming and everything else to activate it. That is shit stupid. It's just plain stupid. NVIDIA, if you're going to put out smooth motion for the 40 series graphics cards, then do it on the update so you can enable it. Not going through special programs just to enable it. Not cheating to get it on the 40 series. If you're going to put it in the control panel saying smooth motion, but putting an little eye information kind of thing there, saying it's only for the 50 series, then why are you saying it's going to roll out for the 40 series? Why are people saying it's rolling out for the 580.88? I did not install 580.97 yet, because I'm going through trying to find it on 580.88. Now, maybe my subscribers or viewers can tell me what the hell am I doing wrong and where I can find it. I'm not stupid to PCs. I've been doing this 3 decades, but I'm putting myself in the consumer's shoes, and they're going to wonder where the hell you got it. If it's out there, if it's real, if this is all just a leak and fakeness. If it's just a leak, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. But I've had people say they've gotten a beta version, and I heard people say, well, it's released with 580.88, which I never found it. So, explain to me where the hell it is. I'm starting to think this is becoming more stupid as it goes along with NVIDIA, and, you know, them claiming that they're going to give us this and that. But turn around, the only way you're going to get it is with the 50 series card. Not unless you're, like, signed up to be a developer for NVIDIA. Maybe you can get all that stuff and then brag about it all over the inner boob, so that way everybody can get their mouth all watering for it. But I'm watching other reviewers use it on their 40 series. Not 50 series, 40 series. And I'm trying to get it myself, and I can't get it. I'm not getting it. And I'm not stupid to PCs. I'm far from being stupid. Is it something I need to activate into the registry? Maybe I need to go into the registry to see if it's disabled, to enable it there so it shows up. Maybe. I don't know, guys. You tell me. For the first time in my whole life, you guys tell me where the hell this stuff is. Maybe because I was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I was on the road while 580.97 launched, which I got 580.88 installed in my PC since the 31st of July. I never found it. Maybe it's just people are crying wolf and saying, oh, it's this and this and this. And then actually they're using a 50 series card and then telling everybody, well, I got it on a 40 series card. There's too much drama level in this. All I wanted to know was how it's going to work on my PC, so I can show you guys. Guess what? We froze again. Let me see if I can fix this. Let me see if I can fix it. Maybe it's a USB problem. We'll switch USB ports. And we'll see if we can get it going. Stand by a moment. We're going to do a little bit of a drop the stream, but you guys are still going to remain on the stream. But I'm going to, disable OBS and then turn it back on again. So sorry about that, guys. I'm just having a little technical difficulty with my camera. It's not OBS, it's not my PC, it's the goddamn camera. It's ever since Microsoft updated the USB drivers, I've been having nothing but non-stop freaking problems. Non-stop. With the camera. Yeah, I know there, Cyborg. I'm glad it's working now. But I'll tell you what, this is the second time I've had to restart OBS just to get this camera to work. If this is the case and this is going on, I'm going to take this camera and I'm going to throw it out the goddamn window. I swear to God, I will throw this camera out the goddamn window. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll wait a couple minutes before I do that. I've already tried that. I have already tried that and it doesn't work. See, you gotta understand. I got an Asus motherboard, right? The problem is I took out Armory Crate because their driver software for Armory Crate is vulnerable to malware attacks on the internet. They had a big story about this back about, what, a week or two ago? About Asus and the vulnerabilities for people being attacked and downloading malware to their system, and they're thinking they're downloading their system drivers, and they're not. I have an Asus motherboard, and if this keeps up, I'm going to go to MSI. I am going to cry a river to MSI and say, MSI, help me out. I'm going to have no other choice. Oh, you took it off a few months ago? Yeah, well, I mean, I want the least amount of problems with my system. Maybe they're trying to tell me, maybe they're trying to say AM4 needs to go to the dead zone. Maybe they're trying to tell me that. But my AM4 motherboard, which is Asus Strix motherboard, with the 5700X, has treated me so well up till now. Maybe it's just the camera that's given the problem, because it's one of those Chinesium based cameras that you can buy off of Amazonian, that they don't care what they sell, but you have no drivers with this camera. Basically, it's just Windows that I'm using for the drivers right now. Maybe that's going to be the problem. Maybe I need to get a camera that's, $1 million expensive just to get the word out. Who knows? I have the Asus TUF Z690 Plus Wi-Fi D4 motherboard. Nice. Nice. So you got an Intel motherboard. Nice. With DDR4. Which you're probably going to have the 14900KS. Probably. I would imagine. Not unless you're going to tell me, oh, I got the 14700K. Well, I'm going to tell you what, my friend. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm at the point. Oh, you get the 12700K. Not bad. Not bad at all. I was thinking about the 12900K. I was thinking about the 12900K with DDR5 for, you know, for the motherboard. A DDR5 motherboard with 64 gigs of RAM, 6000 megahertz CL30 RAM. That was decent. And everybody keeps asking me the question, why 64 gigs? Well, let's see. Not unless the motherboard's max is, let's see. Let me go this way. If the motherboard's max is 128 gigabytes, then you want to keep it in stacks of 16, going 16, 32, 64, and so on. Or 432 gigabyte sticks for AM4, which will run very well. Not on AM5, you have to use 2 sticks. But with AM4, you can use 4. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's 6000 series. It have to be 2 sticks. So you would have to get 2 32 gig stick to make it 64. Or if it's a 192 gigabyte motherboard, then you would have to go in steps of, what they say, 24s? 24 gig sticks? To get, well, you have to build up your numbers to get 2 sticks that equal out to 192 gigabytes. But are you really going to need that much? No. I figured right now 64 gigs is going to be the sweet spot for the next 5 years. So, you have 32 gigabytes, 2x16 sticks, 3200 megahertz. That's not bad. But for, well, since we're just going to change the whole subject, how about this? We're never going to find out how smooth motion's going to go anyway. So we're just going to take and go a different route. Tonight, I'm kind of changing the aspect. Is I'm not going to sit there and, you know, fuggle with everything. So let's do this. Let's go Amazonian for a moment. Let's go to Amazon. Okay. So we'll do some. We're going to do something different, guys. I'm changing up the whole live stream. I had a sudden change in mind. So let's go to Amazon. Let's look up DDR4 RAM. We're changing the whole aspect of everything. Let's see. Let's talk about it. They got Gigastone, 64 gig kit, 4x16, 3200 megahertz, CL16 for $137. They got a turbo kit that's a 32 gig kit for $88, which doesn't make sense. I remember them one day years ago on the computers putting a turbo button. And that don't mean nothing. Okay, so you got 3200 megahertz CL16, 32 gigabytes for $79. This is the kits I got. I got a kit of 4. I got a kit of 4 of this. And they're 16 gigs each. 16 gigs each stick. This, on the other hand, I'm going to tell you, I got a kit of this. I tried to overclock it. It blew up my motherboard. This is a joke. G-Skill Ripjaw, I would never recommend that to anybody. And if you don't believe me, well, I'm going to make a believer out of you real quick. Watch, I'm going to do this to you. I am going to do this to you and make a believer out of you. Okay. I told you guys the Ripjaws are a joke. There it is. See it? It's a joke. No. This is the kits I got right here. LPX. Corsair. Now, when it comes to overclocking Corsair RAM, I really like it very much. Thank you very much. So, oh, you have the you have the G-Skill in your system? Bro, this burned up my B450 motherboard. A B450 motherboard. I'm not going to cry about it too much, but I'm going to tell you. I tried overclocking this. The chips suck. Yeah, well, I mean, you probably didn't overclock it neither, did you? That's the thing. You didn't overclock it. I did. I overclocked it. And when I went to shut down and restart my B450 motherboard to go back into the BIOS, it locked. It locked the BIOS. Just by overclocking this crap right here. This right here, I got overclocked on my PC right now. This right here. This right here is Corsair. Corsair. I overclocked this. I have no problem. I use 4 sticks for the overclocking. I don't recommend to do it with 2 sticks, but you know, if you're on AM4, 4 sticks to 64 gigs of RAM, you can overclock these by, you can overclock them all the way up to maybe 3600 megahertz. But with it being CL16, guess what? When you buy 3600 megahertz RAM, it's CL18. But you're taking 3200 and going up to 3600. You might have to up the voltage maybe 0.02 volts more. Like instead of 1.35 volts, you might have to go to 1.37 volts on the minimum. So, oh, you normally do buy Corsair? Yeah. I mean, bro, I have had such a hard time with G-Skill. G-Skill was nothing but a nightmare to me. It's worse than graphics card nightmares. Trust me. It's a nightmare. So, I got 64 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LPX, 3200 megahertz CL16 RAM, which I reclocked it to 3400 megahertz, put the F clock at 1700 megahertz, and left everything else on auto. I didn't mess with the timings. Left them alone because it's at CL16. I know I could have probably downclocked it to CL14, but I didn't want to push my luck. I got the frequency up a couple hundred megahertz. I took it to 3400 megahertz. I didn't use DOCP for AM4, which you would consider that being XMP or Expo. I didn't use none of that. And I undervolted, and I use a PBO curve for my CPU. And it worked out really well. But normally, a lot of people say, well, I don't like Corsair. Well, maybe because it doesn't have a bunch of RGB lights on it. That's probably why you don't like it. I don't like RGB on my RAM because it pulls power away from the RAM. So let's say you're trying to run it at 1.35 volts. You got a dozen goddamn Christmas lights on your RAM. Each one of them are pulling little bits of watts away from the chips themselves because it has to pull the power through, guess what? The PCI slot that it's connected into. It has to pull the power from there. So when it divides the power from there, it takes away from the chips on the RAM. You don't believe me? Test it out yourself. I already have. So even if it's pulling milliwatts or watts or whatever, the more lights you have on that RAM, the more watts it's going to pull. And the voltage wise adds up for each individual one. Do you think they make that in millivolts? No. Each one of those LEDs pull a lot more voltage than you think. So you could be pulling close to 2 to 3 volts. You never know. Just because you can divide the power doesn't mean that the power goes away. It means it pulls more power. See, people try to do the multiplication and division. They take and put 6 of them together and make one big daisy chain to come up with 12 volts. And then they tried to, you put them in daisy chain. And then you tried to put another set alongside it. But you're connecting positive and negative together. It's a little confusing. I would have to show you how it works. But you can multiply and divide the power at the same time. But it doesn't mean that the wattage goes away. The wattage doesn't go away. Oh, Machine, good to see you, my friend. And I waited for you to get off work. Because I thought I had a ball buster of a live stream going to happen tonight. But turn around, it seems like it could be a good one, but it could be a bad one. But, I think it'll be a good one. As far as clickbait, this is not a clickbait kind of video. This is kind of a pissed off video to the fact of NVIDIA should have put out smooth motion and made it easier to enable for your everyday consumer. Do you think they know how to go into the control panel and set it up precisely? You need to make this crap easier for them, not harder. The harder you make it, they're just going to snub their nose off at you. The more money you charge for it, they're just going to keep snubbing their nose off at you. Make it cheaper, more easier to use, they will buy. But they don't understand that. They really don't understand that. Their brain is stuck in, in engineer mode. They know nothing about the public. I'm going to tell you this straight up. They know absolutely not a fucking thing about the public. And me putting myself into consumer shoes, trying to find this, is mental bullshit. It's just on Slider for AM. Yeah, I know, bro. I know it's on that. I mean, yeah, I can find that out really simple. I mean, I can go next door and go, and say, hey, can I see your computer for a moment, because I built that computer for them, that, and we talked about that, I mean, is what it is. But it comes down to it. At the end of the day, the consumer is the one that has to suffer. Is because they don't know what the hell they're buying. They know nothing about the software. There's no intelligent person I've seen on this inner boob just yet. And don't get me wrong, there are intelligent people, but not intelligent enough to sit in front of the consumer, and I'll admit to making the same goddamn mistake. Sitting in front of the consumer, explaining the software in detail. And that's a mistake I made, and I'm going to apologize to you guys right now for that. That's a mistake I made. I should have been more comprehensive to this, thinking that I'm now putting myself, like I always try to, in you guys' shoes, and you guys are trying to understand how this stuff works. But you're getting to that point of confusion. I can see why. It put me into a frenzy right now. A frenzy of total freaking confusion. Trying to understand the reasoning for them putting these items in on the graphics cards for the software to run these graphics cards to get the utmost best performance we can get out of them. Other than lacing it just with eye candy and saying, here you go. They're going to give you a lollipop and then steal it from you in the end. Doesn't work like this. Now I can see why everybody's running to AMD for their graphics cards. It's because AMD just doesn't give you the eye candy. They give you the whole boat. It's not that they're being stingy with the VRAM. They give you the whole boat. Even though that they charge $750 for their 9070 XT, that's competitive with the 5070 Ti. But the 5070 Ti is more than $750. It's over $1,000. So then AMD decided to go up to $850, add another $100 onto it, just to make a buck or two. Now they're getting as stingy as NVIDIA at that point. If you're going to sell something for $600, then do it. Don't say you're just going to have one batch and then we're going to release the pricing on everybody. Did you do that for last generation? No, you didn't. You didn't do that for the last generation. You kept the pricing right there through the whole last generation. Right on par. And now this generation, AMD and NVIDIA decided to tell the AIB partners, just go willy-nilly. Get whatever, it's a cash grab. Get whatever you want. And they pissed off about all they pissed off about all their consumers doing this. Guys, I'm not here to bullshit you. I'm here to tell you the real deal. And the fairness that these companies, you see them companies knocking down my door to say, hey, you know, would you like to take care, you know, and kind of, you know, check these products out? No, they ain't knocking down my door. They don't care. They're just looking at the big high rollers. They're looking at the ones with the big channels, the ones with millions, the ones that get out to the public. Because if one reviewer says something different and they got millions of subscribers, these companies are screwed and they know it. But with small channels, they can care less. Even, believe it or not, even YouTube sent me something in the mail, in my email, saying since you weren't a big channel and your videos are not reaching out there, let us help you reach those videos out there by putting more ads or adding ads to your video. You see where this is going. This is the reason why I can't get subscribers, is because YouTube screws me even more. So the companies screw me because they won't get on board. YouTube screws me because they won't push my videos out there. So either way you look at it, this is the reason why it's taken me almost 3 years to get close to 800 subscribers. While you got these 25, 27-year-olds out there breaking into the millions. Why? Because I'm 50 years old? Because I don't have the face of mama's ass? Is that what it is? Really? Yes, this turned into a willy-nilly session because I feel that these companies could have done a lot better with their consumers and gave them a lot more price to performance than they've given them for the last 3 years. I say last 3 years because 3 years ago, when I first started my channel, almost 3 years. So, no. September will be 3 years, guys. Okay, that'll be my 3rd anniversary for YouTube. But September 6th, if I remember right. September 6th, yes. So, there's a big problem. Hello there, Dakota. Good to see you, man. Sorry I didn't see you come in, but good to see you. Machine says, okay. I think Jay should do a live show on Waifu computer products. What do you think? Oh man, look at this. Y'all are ganging on me. That's what it is. Look, I really wish I could do that, but due to, you know, wait a minute. We were doing something on System RAM. You know what? We're just going to mash it up. How about this? We'll just mash it up. Let's see what we can find. I don't know, guys. Give me some help out here. Give me a link to click on to find this. Because I'm not really finding anything on the waifu girls. I'm not finding anything on waifu. So. Yeah, I don't think I could show this. This might be too much for you guys to handle. It's too exotic. I can't go that route. Sorry, guys. Can't go that route. It's too exotic. Put whatever RAM you can find in your computer, right, Jay? No. No, 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 no. Now we're going back to the RAM. No, 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 no. That's not how it works, no. DDR4, 64 gigs. Okay, we're going to get back to this. Okay, now let's get back to the deed of the day. Okay, Gigastone. I don't know the company from Adam. So I can't recommend that. I can't recommend Gigastone. But I can recommend what I do know. But what we need to do is we need to find something. What was it? Let's see. Desktop. There we go. Let's see. That's 4 by 16. But like I said, I don't know them. A-Tech? No, don't think so. Ripjaws? Hell no. I would never recommend that. Because like I showed you guys before earlier, and not. Trident Z Neo Series. $175. They got 64 gigs, CL16, 3600 microtransfers, megahertz microtransfers, whatever, for $167. That's something to think about. But nah. They got Time Tech, which have no heat sink. That's 2400 megahertz. I don't think you want to run that. Let's see. Corsair Vengeance, 3600. Look at that, $300. Kiss my, I don't want to say it. Corsair Vengeance Pro, 64 gigs, 3200. Look at this, $511. Whoa, we're getting expensive. We're getting expensive there. Look at this. Trident Z, 64 gigs, 170, 160, 215. Oleo, don't know it. Well, I do know it, but I don't recommend it. But anyway, now that we looked up the DDR4 selection of the night, now let's do this. Let's go DDR5. Right here. 6,000 megahertz. That's 6,400. It's almost $200. OEM RAM is the best RAM? No, it ain't. You mean it's the most locked out RAM that you can buy that's not overclockable? Look at this. Crucial Pro. Overclocking desktop gaming memory. But it's CL40. This is a joke. CL40. That should have been CL30. Wouldn't touch that neither. $220. This is DDR5. 64 gigabytes, two sticks by 32, 6,000 megahertz, CL30, AMD Expo, and XMP compatible 235. Not bad. It's a blacked out version too. Yeah, you got that Clev. Yeah, I know you do. Yeah, you got that Clev RAM. That's like saying my RAM's got extra cleavage. I had to say that, guys. Let's see. 64 gigs CL38. Let's see. CL38, $200. Nope. Ripjaw S5 series. No. No. Sorry, I'm being a picky guy today. Very picky. Trident Z Neo. $215. Now the Trident Z, I'm not going to tell you it's bad because I've seen a lot of reviewers use the Trident Z5 Neo series. Okay, I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm just saying the crapola, like this Ripjaw 5, the Ripjaws 5. This right here, I don't recommend it, but a lot of reviewers do test with the Trident Z5 Neo. So that might not be a bad thing. Let's move on. Let's see, you say it will be here on Saturday and you're going to try to do that Monday. I will catch you on the Discord and try to do it off of Discord from my phone. There, machine. So, you got a good kit. We'll see how it plays out. It has RGB, so it's faster. Yeah, I bet. It's like a Honda Civic from the early 2000s. My God. Yeah, I would imagine they've been really proud there in Dakota. Let's see. Still, if I'm going to get RAM, I'm going to get at least something I know that's going to work for me. I don't like the RGB because of the IQ, the compatibility for the IQ. I do not like it whatsoever. So I'd rather just use blacked out or white out versions without RGB. I'm sorry to be picky, but it is what it is. This kit right here is 1.40 volts. $64 gigs. I bet you any money No, I ain't gonna bet you any money because I ain't got no money. So I can't bet you. So we can't go there with that. So 5600 megahertz or 5200 megahertz or 4800 megahertz desktop memory UDIM. Well, can't go with it. Okay. T-Create Expert Overclocking 10L DDR5 64 gig kit 6000 megahertz CL34. No. Can't tell you I like it. CL38, nope. Clev Cross V. This must be what Machine got. 64 gigs, CL30, $186. Jay, you should look up Ovaries Aries RAM. What's Ovaries Aries RAM? Well, Machine, I'm sure they'll have a white version. I am sure they'll have a white version. See? White version. Right here. White version. White version. They got a white version. So, yeah. They have a white version. Oh, and they got that too. See, but for 40 more bucks, you could have went up 20 more gigabytes for 40 more dollars. See, we can go to that version too. And it's a white version. 48 gigabytes, DDR5, 6000 megahertz desktop. Looks like they have a motherboard, a 9800X3D, and that RAM. Equals, right here, these three pieces equal almost $900. 900 bucks, man. That's crazy. Amazon Choice. This is Amazon Choice. 32 gigabytes DDR5. 6000 megahertz. Overclocking desktop gaming. 6000 megahertz at what? Best for 12th and 14th gen Core AMD 7000 series, higher processors. Okay. So it's 36, CL36 for 84 bucks, $85. CL36. Damn. You'd think you would get lucky to get some decent RAM. So, AMD Expo ready. So, yeah, look, it's not bad. It's not bad RAM. Okay. You get two 24 gigabyte sticks. It's more than 32. It'll carry you a couple extra years. Yeah, it's not bad RAM. All depends on if it's going to be compatible with your motherboard. Even though that the compatibility list says it might be compatible, it can turn around and do the opposite on you. I've had that happen too. So, even though without RGB it will be slower. Yep, we'll find out though. We'll find out. This RAM right here is basically what you're going to be getting. This is basically what you're going to be getting in RAM. So, it is what it is. But let's move on and let's look on and see if we can find something else that might be cheaper. Yeah, well, 6400 megahertz CL30, 32 gigs for $106. This could have worked too. You could have downclocked this to 6200 megahertz CL30. This would have worked as well. Moving on. Where is it coming from? This, we'll find out. We'll find out. It is sold by Clev. Ships from Amazon, bro. Sold by Clev. Ships from Amazon. Plus, you got a 4-year protection plan for $30. You can add that to it as well. So, you can make this $140 with 4-year protection plan. Not bad. No, it's sold by Clev, but it ships from Amazon, bro. It says it right here. Says it right here. Oh, that's right. You guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm missing something. And you didn't tell me I was missing something until, I'm just seeing I was missing something here. Now I'm embarrassed because you guys didn't tell me I was missing something here. So now we're going to fix it. Boom. There we go. Now we can see what we're talking about. This says right here, shipped from Amazon, sold by Clev. So it is what it is. For $105, $106. Not too bad, not too bad. Waifu pointer. Yeah, man. I gotta have it waifu, man. Let's see. Well, this gives me a good idea when I go to pick my RAM, what I'm going to be picking, or when I go up to the next series motherboards, the clocks are 3676. It's kind of tight, but you can make it work. Whoa, no. 6000 MT CL28 for $255. 64 gig kit. Ooh, and this is Amazon shipped, but sold by Racer Speed Inc. Oh, damn. Shame. 4-year plans, $47.99. $48 for a 4-year plan. But this is right here. CL28 at 6,000 microtransfers, 64 gigs. Sick kit. No, this is 1.4. Yeah, that's fine. That'll be fine right there. But it's AMD Expo. Then that means it's, if it's 1.4 volts, it's overclockable ready. That's what I think. Overclockable ready. So you have that RAM kit there, post on the beats. Welcome to the live stream there, my friend. Tell me about it. What do you like about it? Is it good, bad, or ugly? Give us the lowdown. How much for, you're asking how much for Vengeance 128 gigabyte kit? Okay, 2x64. But you didn't tell me DDR4 or DDR5, Cyborg. I need to know if it's DDR4 or DDR5, man. As you didn't put the frequency. Oh, okay, there we go. But you didn't put the frequency. But we'll look. We will look for Vengeance. We'll work it out. We will work it out. Huh. Well, hell. Give me a moment, guys. Give me a moment. It looks like YouTube's being another bitch by dropping the frames. Let's see. I have a 6.3D, 5080, 64 gigs of RAM, 10 terabyte SSD, MSI Mag 870 motherboard, Lee & Lee ICD fans. It's on my short that my PC I built. That's cool. That's cool. Must be my internet.